Greetings historians, welcome to Lore of the Dragon. The Year of the Dragon is an event that takes place every 12 years, both in real life and in Spyro, in most iterations. It's an event worthy of celebration, where festivities are gathered, but what exactly does that entail? Today, let's dive into what exactly the Year of the Dragon is in Spyro, and by contrast, what it means in real life. Within the context of Spyro, there are two times the Year of the Dragon is mentioned. It's mentioned in the game Year of the Dragon, or rather Spyro 3, and The Legend of Spyro, A New Beginning. Both of these see dragon eggs heavily involved, either rescuing them and seeing them hatch as in Spyro 3, or being protected by ancient warrior monks referred to as guardians, like in A New Beginning. In the original games, it is said, quote, every 12 years, the Dragon Kingdom celebrates its most important event, the Year of the Dragon Festival. Fairies deliver a new batch of dragon eggs, and dragons come from all around to dance and feast until everyone drops from exhaustion. It gives us a clue as to how new dragons appear, that they are brought to the Dragon Kingdom instead of being born there. The reason for this isn't ever stated, and it's been a source of speculation as to why this is the case, though without any solid understanding of the topic other than this, it really is just a shot in the dark. The Year of the Dragon we know the most about is when the sorceress, an ancient enemy of the dragons and the one who sent them into exile from their original home, sent her minions and apprentice to steal the dragon eggs for her own immortality spell, since dragon wings in the original Spyro are said to generate magic. The sorceress found it the best way to achieve her goal, though her efforts were thwarted by Spyro and his allies. The Legend of Spyro approaches this with a different, although more vague way, wherein the Year of the Dragon is mentioned during the start of A New Beginning. Its significance to the culture, what practices it involves, and so on are unexplained. Just that in the year, a raid on the sanctuary called the Dragon Temple occurred. The raid's purpose in part was to find and destroy the egg of the purple dragon, a thing of legend and power, all at the behest of the Dark Master Malefor. For Spyro, our answer is clear as to what the Year of the Dragon is, but what about its true origins? What culturally and historically is the Year of the Dragon? Compared to actual history, there seems to really only be one resemblance, that it is on a 12-year cycle. This is the fifth of 12-year cycles in the Chinese zodiac relating to the Chinese calendar. This itself is broken into 12 branches, alternating between their own cycles, each one having a meaning behind it. Folklore states that the origin of it was from an event called the Great Race, hosted by the Jade Emperor, one of the representations of the first god in Chinese mythology. He made a decree that for every animal to reach him, he would name a year after them, but to do so meant crossing a river during the Great Race. If you're interested in reading up on this, I'll leave a link to some pages in the description. The dragon is said to have come in 5th place, and for clarification, they could fly. But when asked why they came in 5th, there's a few different interpretations I've found. These range from helping a village by delivering them rain, to helping the rabbit get out of some peril, who had a year named after them as well. There are, however, variations of this, like in Buddhism, where Buddha, before leaving Earth, summoned animals to bid him farewell, but only 12 actually came, and as a reward, the years were named after them. Now, every Year of the Dragon is associated with what is called an earthly branch, repeating every 5 cycles in what is the cycle of matter rising and falling. In 2000, when Year of the Dragon came out, the earthly branch was of a metal dragon, associated with the Chinese philosophy regarding metal, which in and of itself is the 4th phase of Wu Xing, or rather the cycle of matter. Metal is referred to as the decline of matter. The next Year of the Dragon was in 2012, where we reached the water dragon, the 5th stage of Wu Xing. If I mispronounce it, I am incredibly sorry. Finally, we are in 2024, where we reach the wood dragon, the growing stage of matter, and the start of the cycle. I imagine from here you can imagine how this goes. The cycle begins with the wood dragon and ends with the water dragon. And like mentioned earlier, variations on this are throughout Asia, given the interconnected histories there. Now, how does this all tie into Spyro? Well, from the standpoint of its actual components, I imagine we can ascertain that there isn't much, if at all anything, connecting them other than name. No fairies delivering eggs in Chinese mythology, no great race in Spyro lore. But it is through time that the adaptation of these myths became popular in places where eventually Spyro embraced the idea of using the name, although without much of why it was there in the first place. Perhaps in the future we'll see more of a mythical quality to the Year of the Dragon, or perhaps, at least in Spyro, it will remain a celebration to welcome new life into the Dragon Kingdom. A big thank you to my Patreons, Episode Blue, ConquerFan91, Eric Manuel, Jabby, Kiasu Shin, Lazi, Nightmare Spyro, and Shaggy. I'll see you all the next time we talk. Stay safe, historians.